Hello people of the world.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
안녕하세요 여러분.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
This is Justin.
Sarah.
And Jayden is sleeping and the girls are at dayhome. In today's video, we'll be giving you guys an update of what has been happening in our lives and what has been keeping us busy.
Including baby Jayden's health scare.
So let's talk about your mom. Your mom came back from her retirement in Philippines after Jayden was born.
That's right. So my mother went on early retirement by 1 year. She went a year early to the Philippines. She left, I believe, the day of Sabrina's birthday, so January 16 of this year, and retired so that she didn't have to suffer the cold of the Canadian winter here. Came back mid-April, just in time to meet baby Jayden while he's still in his newborn phase.
Jayden was how many weeks old when your mom saw him for the first time? Like 3 weeks, I think?
2.
Yeah.
2 weeks old, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay.
So she'll be staying in Canada now until January of next year.
Okay.
Yeah. Because she had built a home of her own there. It'll be sort of like our family vacation home whenever we would go visit her in the Philippines. And I think she might do the same thing where she would stay in the Philippines January through May or something like that. And then come back to Canada to maintain her citizenship as well, right? Like she can do what others are doing when it comes to retirement here. They would go home to their home country and then come back to Canada every 6 months just to maintain their citizenship status.
I think they call that snowbirds.
Snowbirds, there you go.
Who leave Canada
during the winter time
and then come back during summer.
They're living the dream. One day, honey. So a lot of you guys were asking for an update about my dad. So my dad and I are currently on texting terms. He had recently moved to the United Kingdom from Dubai. We were born and raised in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and Dubai, aka United Arab Emirates. And then my mom moved here after the divorce, and my dad migrated to the United Kingdom just recently, along with our stepmom, stepbrother, and our 2 half-sisters. So it's really interesting that they've moved closer to us. Makes me excited about what the future holds. Hopefully we could help rekindle the bond between my dad and I. Our sisters and us, we are in great terms. It's more of a tension between my dad and I because of his disapproval of my marriage to Justin. So yeah, if you need a background on a family drama here that originated in our relationship, please feel free to check out the video in the link description below or like on this top left corner.
So he hasn't seen photos or videos of Jayden, I believe.
Not from myself, but I asked my brother, who is in constant communication with my dad. He and my dad are really, really close. And my brother who lives here in Calgary said that he sent some updates and photos to my dad. So my dad knows of our baby boy that has recently been born. And yeah, he's updated in that sense. But because of of our busyness, you'll understand later on in this video what kept us busy. I hadn't had the chance to contact my dad directly. But Jayden was basically born in the middle of the month of Ramadan, which is a crucial sacred month in the religion of Islam. And Muslims practice fasting for that month of Ramadan, as most of you are already aware. So since Jayden was born in Ramadan, the last conversation I had with my dad was happy Ramadan, and then the Eid celebration after the month of Ramadan is when we said happy Eid to each other, and that was the gist of it. But we're hoping that one day, since, Dad is now a lot closer because he's in UK, we're in Canada, we're hoping one of these days we would be able to visit my dad, as well as introduce him to our kids, which I feel will be a lot easier. My gut feeling says that they are going to be received very well. I feel like if I were to call my dad right now or text him and say, Dad, we're planning to visit you in the UK, would you be willing to meet with us? I'm sure he'd say, please come over to the house. And then he would ask my stepmom to prepare a feast or whatnot, because based on experience, you guys probably don't know this, Justin and I actually visited my dad for me to introduce Justin as my fiance. Was it? Were you my fiance that time? Yeah, as my fiance before we got married. We visited my dad in Dubai, and we did not give him any heads up. He didn't even know we were in the same country for a visit, and we just rang the doorbell and said, surprise, we're here. And he welcomed us inside. He didn't say, hang on, stay back, you're not welcome here, you need to give me heads up, I know nothing about this man, who's this man you're bringing into my home. He made it seem like Justin was welcome, and of course he was excited to see us again. So my gut feeling is if we were to show up in the UK in our dad's doorstep unannounced, he would still welcome us and our cute little kids. But of course, to be fair, let's just give him a heads up. We don't know when we'll be visiting him in the UK yet, but we're hoping one of these days, once we have enough money saved up.
My thoughts are that he wouldn't be as open as he was last time we saw him.
Whoa, why?
Because last time we saw him, he was still hopeful that I'm gonna be converting to Islam. But now he knows that I will not be converting to Islam. He probably has different outlook on me.
I don't know. I mean, if I know anything about my dad, although I haven't I haven't spoken to him in years, based on my experiences and on the patterns so far, I feel like Dad is just not going to bring up the topic of religion. He's going to treat us, including you, as his guests in his home in the UK, and he's not going to bring up sensitive topics while he enjoys and takes in his grandchildren for the first time, and he maybe talks to us more about our ways of life. I don't think he'll be asking deep-seated topics such as religion, especially as long as we're not staying overnight. I feel like if we stay overnight, maybe on the 5th day or 4th day overnight, he would start to get comfortable about opening up to me more, and questioning me about converting Justin to become a Muslim. But yeah, I am pretty confident he's not going to bring it up. But we'll see. I'll be prepared for that conversation if ever.
I'm sure he wouldn't bring up directly. He might just dance around it. But I don't think he would confront me either. But he wouldn't be as open, knowing that myself and our kids are not Muslim.
Well, I feel like my dad he's a people pleaser. He always has been. So I feel like he wouldn't ever try to make you feel uncomfortable. Even the thought of dancing around the topic, I don't think he's ever gonna go that far. I think he's gonna try to initiate conversation with you with hey Justin, so how are you? What do you do for work again? What's it like being a dad? And what are your plans here? What are your plans here in the UK? And what are your plans for the future? But that's as far, I feel. So we'll see. Right now we're just assuming. He's assuming the worst, I'm assuming the best. But yes, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it hasn't happened yet. We don't have any current plans yet for this year, but we will keep you guys in the loop. Hopefully that day will happen sooner than we think. And
my parents have yet to see Jayden.
Oh yes, A few of you, I think, were asking about whether they have met our newborn baby boy since his birth. And surprise, surprise! No, they haven't. I had nothing to do with it. Justin here is going to fill you in on what went on.
I'm planning on making another video on that topic, so stay tuned, you guys, and be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss that video. Your brother, Sammy, is going away.
Right, so here's another family update. Is that my brother recently got a brand new spanking engineering job all the way in Vancouver. So it's still within Canada, but it's a totally different province. And yeah, quite a drive, quite a flight away from Calgary. So he's really excited about it. He said it's a better paying opportunity. He will gain a lot of experience. And he's really excited about it. We're excited for him, but of course, you know.
So next time our car breaks down, we can't call him and say, rescue us.
Yes. So like deep down, I'm actually really, really sad that he's leaving, because then, you know, it feels like as our family is getting closer together, you know, with his parents starting to warm up to our kids, my dad having moved to a country that's closer to Canada, all of a sudden, my mom goes away and retires in the Philippines, and she'll be going back and forth. And all of a sudden, my brother is moving away, most likely permanently is what he said, all the way to a different province within Canada. So it's kind of like, sure, two positive things came together to make our family whole, and then two other things happened to keep the family apart again. But my brother promised that he would visit us, and that actually the flights to Vancouver are pretty cheap as well, so maybe one of these days we'll also go visit. Again, that's another expense that we have to consider, and right now we're in that stage of our lives where we're trying to save up as much money as possible towards possibly another baby, maybe baby number 4. What? You're like, what? Justin's like, what?
I didn't know you were going there.
You're like, that caught me off guard. Yes, you guys, a few of you were asking whether we're planning another baby. That's another family update that I'd like to share with you guys. Yes, I am planning another baby. Justin has a different story. What, you feel like you're done?
Well, I feel like we should wait and see until Jayden is at least 1 and see how we're coping with the situation of handling 3 babies or 3 kids.
I agree, but I've got to say, so I'm not pressuring Justin into baby number 4 just yet, but I am pressuring him to warm up to the idea that it is possible that I would want another baby. Because as soon as I gave birth to Jayden, literally in the delivery room, I was like, we should try for 1 more. And he's kind of like, hold on. I know a lot of people were assuming that Justin is the person that's like, hey, I want more kids. And I'm like, no, it's me. He is good with 3. But yeah, I'm hoping for 1 more. But we'll see financially, emotionally, psychologically, whether our sanity could tolerate another baby. Although they are blessings, you guys. They're also headaches. We love them to death though.
If we were to have a 4th kid, we definitely have to have a minivan.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so we've been searching for a minivan, couldn't get our hands on it.
That's another thing.
Yeah, it's way too expensive. Did you know the used car is more expensive than the new car? And you can't get your hands on a new car because they don't have any available.
Here in Canada at least, right? Is it a global thing? We don't know.
So we've been looking at minivans, and used minivan is about 30% more expensive than brand new, the latest model of the same minivan.
Because of the demand and supply, there's a shortage in materials or something to make brand new cars. It takes like about 2 to 5 years from the time you place an order for a new car to the time you receive that new car. So that's why used cars that are readily available cost way more, which is insane, you guys. I'm like, who in their right minds would spend a lot more on a used vehicle and choose to get the car right away as opposed to wait?
So we are on a waiting list to get the minivan when it's available, but it could be 2 years, 5 years, who knows when we can get it. There's no way we can survive with our current SUV if we have a fourth kid.
Yeah, because right now, guess what? All 3 car seats fit in the back seat of our SUV, but one more baby and we're gonna have to throw that baby in the trunk. It's like, stay back there, don't move. Newborns barely move anyway.
We also been searching for a new day home for the girls.
Oh my goodness, you guys. All of this happened shortly after Jayden's birth. Sabrina and Chanel have been going to the same day home lady who is very near and dear to our hearts. She's like a part of our family because she's been taking care of them full time. Because that's just what works for our family in order for us to focus on our jobs, as well as for me to focus on Jayden and to be able to take care of myself so I'm not like a zombie all the time. To be fair to the kids as well, so they have the opportunity to socialize with other kids their age. We decided that we would continue on sending our girls to day home full time. But our day home lady told us, unfortunately, that she'll have to close her day home after many years. I don't know, like I would say, was she 20 plus years of having run a day home? She basically was the same and one and only day home provider for Sabrina since the beginning of time, since Sabrina first started day home ever. And then she was also there when Chanel was first dropped off. So it's kind of sad that she will not get the opportunity to, take care of Jayden as well. She's also sad about it, but there has been a major change in her life as well that forced her to close down. She did mention she'll continue to be a part of the family. We told her definitely we will invite her to every single birthday, and hopefully she'll continue to be a part of our lives. But that's another thing. She gave us, unfortunately, only 2 weeks notice, which here in Calgary, it's basically almost unheard of because
it was 4 weeks notice, but
it was 4 weeks.
It was 4 weeks notice, but she said she'll be closing down on the 12th of the month. But it's more realistic to start your day home on the first of the month. So then we have to find our kids new day home in 2 weeks before the first of the next month.
Right. So that's why for us it was 2 weeks. It felt like 2 weeks. But yeah, I basically was racking my brain in the middle of being sleepless to find a day home that will have 2 full-time spots available in our community. It was a tough decision also because sometimes they do have the spots and you're kind of like, are they good enough though? Am I comfortable sending our girls there? Will they ever be comfortable being around a new day home mom, right? So yeah, luckily for us, we did find someone who is awesome and takes care of our girls as well. Surprisingly, according to Justin, because he's the main person that takes care of Sabrina and Chanel, he's the one who drops them off and picks them up from day home. He said that surprisingly the girls are not fazed by the change in scenery and the change in environment. They're just adjusting very well. It's so strange. I guess we underestimate our kids at this young age. We thought that they would be missing their previous day home, missing their friends, but they do, but they're adjusting very well.
Myself and my wife are both on a leave at the moment. So I am on a paternity leave and she's on maternity leave. Sarah took sick leave a month before the expected due date, and she took 15 weeks of maternity leave following that, and then now she will be on a 61-week parental leave following that. So total of, it's gonna be 19 months away from work.
Yeah.
And for myself, I'm gonna be on a 3-month paternity leave. Of this 3 months, I used up some of my vacation days and also taking EI from Government of Canada to make up for the other remaining 7 weeks of my paternity leave will be covered by EI.
So in case you guys are wondering, how are we surviving, not making money and sending our kids to day home and buying groceries and diapers for this newborn? Thankfully, the Government of Canada does give financial benefits to help families basically stay at home during the first few months of life of the little baby, and also to be able to sustain our current lifestyle through my 18-month leave.
But if you guys are interested in more detailed video on how sick leave, maternity leave, parental leave works in Canada, then leave a comment below, then I'll try to make a video on that one.
An updated one, post-pandemic one, because we did put one out previously.
Okay. Another new update in our life is that we bought a bunk bed for Sabrina and Chanel. And this is their reaction when they saw the bunk bed for the first time. Sabrina, come here. No jumping, Sabrina. You like your new bunk bed?
I like the new bunk bed.
You like your bunk bed, Chanel? No jumping, Sabrina.
Okay, Papa.
Okay, initially I was a little concerned about the bunk bed idea. Justin, it has always been his dream to build a girls a bunk bed. It's been my dream growing up to sleep on a bunk bed too. But yeah, I was concerned initially because Chanel, up until now, she's about 2.5 years old. And up until recently, she's been sleeping in a crib. I know you guys. Judge me all you want. I want to keep my babies for as long as possible. But yes, she's been sleeping in her crib until 2.5 years of age. And so you know how the crib is protected, all four sides? I was worried about her falling off if she were to transition onto a bed that has one side open for you to get in and out, right? Because he did build a bed and make sure it was flush against the wall, the corners of the room. So yeah, there was one side not accounted for, and I'm worried that she would fall off. But luckily, after 2 nights,
After 2 nights, Chanel hasn't fallen off the bed, and Sabrina hasn't either from the top bunk. If she falls from top bunk, there will be a disaster.
So Sabrina sleeps on top and Chanel at the bottom because Sabrina's more used to sleeping on a toddler bed. So she's used to knowing that if she goes close to the edge, she's going to fall off, because she has fallen off a few times. Not from the bunk bed, you guys, but from her regular toddler bed.
But what Sabrina does is she wants to look down at her sister, so she would like lean forward off the edge of the bed. But my worry is that one day she's gonna lean so far forward that she won't be able to bring herself back, and only way to go is down.
Well, luckily, the room is carpeted, so we're hoping she will land softly. But no, Sabrina, I don't know. I'm pretty confident she's not. Like, she knows the difference because she has fallen. She has had multiple falls off the bed, off the sofa, off of the slides over time, over the years. So I feel like she's pretty aware now that she shouldn't be hanging off the edge that way. And she will actually not fall. It's Chanel that I'm worried about. Although Chanel has had multiple falls from different playgrounds, from the sofa, from her chair, many times as well. So hopefully she understands the concept. It's more my fear of, so Sabrina's edge of the bunk bed has an actual rail. Chanel's doesn't. She's at the bottom bunk and she doesn't have one. So that's why I'm afraid for Chanel. For Sabrina, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty confident. Plus, they're able to jump. Were they? They're not tall enough to hit the ceiling yet, or the top bunk yet.
No, Sabrina will hit the ceiling if she jumps. I've been telling her not to jump on the top bunk.
But she can stand.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah, our little ones. They seem to be enjoying their new bed. They love their new bed. Like, it's easy now to bring them to bed because we're like, do you want to go see your new bed? And they're like, yay! Whereas usually it's like bedtime and they're like, no! So yeah, I'm happy for them. Okay, let's talk about what the health scare was, okay? So in Jayden's first week checkup with our family doctor. She noticed that Jayden had she calls it a sacral dimple. So it's a dimple, tiny little dent along his tailbone region or his lower back. So it's like you have the butt crack and then you got skin and then the dimple. They were concerned that it may be a sign. It could be nothing, but they said it is possibly a sign of like a spinal condition, spinal cord, spinal disc, the vertebrae. So I was like, what? First of all, when they first found out, the doctor asked me, hey, did you notice he has a dimple? And I was like, on his face? No. They're like, no, like back here. She showed it to me. And I was like, oh. She's like, well, I wouldn't be too concerned. It's probably nothing because usually it is of concern if it's surrounded by a tuft of hair or if there's any discoloration. Of course, there was discoloration in the sense all our kids were born with Mongolian spots, which is like a birthmark that eventually fades over time or maybe doesn't.
So that dimple could mean that the baby has wrong number of bones along the spine. So I was worried about that because our firstborn, Sabrina, was born with extra bones in her feet. And we had to go for surgery to get those removed. And if you missed that video, the surgery video is up in the description or the top right corner.
And also they said it could be a sign, like if they find any deformities, it would be that possibly the spinal cord is not, or the spinal column is not in the right place. That's what they were worried about as to why he has a dimple. They were also, I think the condition that they call is spina bifida. They said it basically just means, it could be nothing, like even people that have it or are diagnosed with spina bifida are able to just function normally and mostly asymptomatic. But they're saying that if that was the condition, there's also a chance that he would have issues with movement. Mind you, Chanel, our second born, so our second daughter, she actually has that dimple. I think to this day, but it's less deeper than it was when she was first born. Strangely enough, that's why I was wondering. I said, she had that dimple, but nobody ever noticed or said anything about it back then. And then now we have our third baby and they're like, oh, we noticed a dimple. So it really is, it depends on who your provider is. With this provider, she happened to notice it when she did a head-to-toe inspection on him. So yeah, she said she's not concerned, but just to be on the safe side, she would like to rule it out by ordering this diagnostic imaging, which is not an x-ray, so no radiation, completely safe for infants. So I was like, okay, sure. Went for that imaging, and that very next day we got the results, and yeah, they said it was nothing. But while we were in the waiting area, I'd like to show you guys a video of sweet baby Jayden giving me smiles and chatting me up to keep me company right before the procedure. Talk to me. Yee, there he is. What do you want to say? Let me smell a fist. Yes, the sneaky fist. Oh, look at this one. There he is. So much to say, huh? Are you in the waiting room? You're in the waiting room, huh? What are we waiting for? He's like, I don't know, Mama. I don't know. Do you? Yes? You're gonna get your first diagnostic imaging? Yeah? We're gonna check the dimple on your, above your bum bum. But thankfully, nothing is wrong. Jayden is perfectly healthy. No abnormalities or any conditions or deformities. So thank goodness. Thank you guys for all your prayers and making sure he stays safe and healthy as well. At least that's one less thing to worry about.
Before we go, we want to give a shout out to Peter Ng for sending us with this lovely note and this little gift for Jayden. Looks like it's a set of how many bibs? 8 bibs. Wow, that's a lot.
My goodness.
Set of 8 bibs for baby Jayden.
But they're so cute.
Yeah, thank you, Peter Inc., for sending us this little lovely gift.
Thank you, Peter, for following our story as well. And that was so generous of you. Thank you so much. I'm sure Jayden will greatly appreciate it, as do we. So, for those of you guys who shared your comments, your wisdom, your advice, your opinions, your support, your unending love, and just great positive vibes, thank you so much for your never-ending support, for being so patient with us as we are adjusting to this point in our lives, to the many challenges that have come our way. So yeah, thank you for keeping up with us. Thank you for following our story. Thank you for just continuing to be there for us. We love you, Love with Standards.
Be sure to like and subscribe and look out for our next video. Goodbye, everyone.
Mwah, we love you.